The Saudis, while they were helpful at times, they could increase supply when somebody else was shortening supply, and they did on a number of occasions, and that was kind of a diplomatic bonus. They were in it for themselves. This natural resource was Saudi. Their people needed to be, the standard of living needed to be increased. Well, the royal family was not going to last. And they weren't going to do anything that would jeopardize that. The oil companies, for generations, dominated that situation. And they ran the thing. They ran the Saudi oil reservoirs. And that changed in the 70s. The Saudis effectively nationalized the oil and said to the oil companies, you can be part of this process and you can still profit, but now it's our oil and we'll decide who gets it and how much is charged. Within the government, there were those of us that thought that we should be tougher with the OPEC countries, and those of us who felt that we should be nice to them. I was with the first group, and we were meeting in the White House. We had about 30 business people, and Greenspan talked about energy. He talked about the economy. I talked about energy and policy, and we had a question and answer. And somebody asked me, how do you negotiate with OPEC? And I was flippant, and it's a good lesson to tame your arrogance. I said, with a 2x4. Now, we went on and had more Q&A, and I didn't know that there was a business guy also was a part-timer working for the Baltimore Sun. So the next day in the Baltimore Sun, there's a news article that says, Zarb says use 2x4 on OPEC. Now, that did not please Kissinger and the State Department, who were trying to make nice with Zakimani and the Saudis, and they let it be known. I didn't give any ground on that subject. I only said what I believed you should use a 2x4. The president backed me. He was amused by the whole thing, and then my staff took a piece of 2x4, a burned-in OPEC negotiating tool, and pasted the newspaper article to the back. It's been with me all these years, and now it's in the Hofstra Library. And Henry Kissinger and his State Department had its own mission. Its own mission in the Iranian matter was to get enough money in the hands of the Shah to buy guns and planes. So he wanted us to buy oil from the Shah. He didn't care about the price, really. My concern was energy supply and the American people. And then there's a book recently published, The Oil Kings,
yes,
where the author really did a lot of homework. And for the first time after all these years, I learned that all the time I was trying to get the Iranians to get their price down, Henry was telling him not to lower it. So he was effectively working against me.
Did that surprise you?
That he was working against me? Yeah, sure. I was surprised because I didn't know it. When I ran the numbers finally and went to see the president and said, I've negotiated for a year, it ain't gonna happen, and I gave him the numbers. He called Henry Kissinger into the office, and the president said, I told you before, Henry, no discount, no deal, so it's done. Henry was not pleased with that. As I said, his mission was different than mine. And on the way out, he called me a nitpicking Talmudic scholar. Now, I'm a Roman Catholic, so I didn't really appreciate that.
But he did let on to you at times that you two had different agendas.
Sure, when he was very angry when I killed the deal finally. Alan Greenspan was my ally, and the president liked to once in a while stick it to Henry, so he called Henry after that meeting that I just described and told Henry that Greenspan was also on my side. And this author who interviewed State Department people, said Henry went back that day and told his deputy, Chuck Robinson, that he knew more about economics than Greenspan or Zarb, and there wasn't a one brain between the two of them, meaning Greenspan and me, which after 36 years later, I could laugh at, and I bought a copy of the book for Henry, and I sent it to him. So, yeah, I learned a lot.